Hey everybody, this episode is brought to you by Solid Gold Effects. They just came out with their countercurrent reverb. Go check out my demo for it. It's pretty dang cool. I do some fun, like playing around and pressing buttons and turning knobs in there. If you're looking for a reverb that's very versatile, does some fun stuff ranging from kind of like a classic slapbacky, pre-delay, kind of vintage sort of reverb sound that ranges all the way over to a shoegazy, ambient, modern noise-making sort of nonsense, sort of particly, like lo-fi reverb. The countercurrent is awesome. It has this extra feedback momentary switch on there. You hold it down, and it's like a mix between a self-oscillating reverb and like an amp feedback. Like there's this gain quality to it. It's really pretty incredible. So go check out my demo. Go check out everyone else's demos. Go buy 3 or 4 of them. Give them to your mom and dad for their birthdays or for Christmas or Easter, whatever holidays you give gifts for. This episode is also brought to you by Chase Bliss Audio, makers of some of the craziest pedals you ever heard in your life. We talk about them on the show quite a bit, and they are sponsoring our show now. How cool is that? You should go support Chase Bliss simply for the reason that they support us. I mean, you know, besides the fact that they make incredible pedals, you should support the companies that help make this show possible and keep us making podcasts for you and videos for you every week, every day, every moment of my life. I don't sleep anymore. I just make stuff for you. And last but not least, Sinusoid Cables, making this show possible for a long time now. Makers of the cable that's going to make you think there's a snake behind you. Makers of the great big Sasquatch power cables. They're just completely ridiculous. Go check them out online. Tell them that we sent you. Sasquatch Cables. They're the Beanie Babies of cables. I still don't know what that means or what I was trying to get at when I said that an episode or two back, but I really feel it when I say it. Sinusoid Cables, the Beanie Babies of cables. Hey, this is Ryan.
And this is Brandt.
And this is David Buffalo Hill.
And this is Alan.
We got a regular old party here, boys.
There's brisket and
we got
ribs,
meat in front of us.
There's sausage and Texas toast and Budweiser, and it's wonderful.
It's the last day of Sweetwater's GearFest.
Woo!
Woohoo! We're done.
I'm so tired.
Brandt worked there.
I did.
How was that? What was that like?
It was super cool. It was my first GearFest working at Sweetwater, so that was a very, very fun experience for me. It was definitely a tiring one, but one that is certainly something I won't soon forget.
There you go. You summed it up. This is real tidy.
Sorry, if I seem very tired, it's because I am very tired. But I had a lot of fun. I got to meet a lot of really cool people, see a lot of super fun gear, and got to hang out with these guys a little bit.
You're probably
fantastic.
You're probably a little shell shocked from being in the drum room the whole time, huh?
A little bit. Was that a drum pun? Shell shock.
Shell shock.
See what you did there.
Oh. Do you have a laugh track that you put in with this now
wish.
too? Oh man,
I wish.
get on that. Get on that for next episode.
The thing about GearFest is it can be a little intense.
Oh,
He's been saving that one up. I heard that one today.
I've been waiting all weekend.
Yeah, because it's literally the whole thing's inside of tents. So for the people who weren't there,
Ryan, you are the only person who's made that joke all weekend.
I know. It's
You
because I'm
and
so creative.
3,000 Sweetwater employees.
There
That's a
may
lot
or
of
may
people,
not
right?
be a song that goes GearFest. It's intense.
I want to hear it.
Oh man, I don't know. I don't know if it exists in the real world.
They
But
got a studio. They'll record it. It's fine.
So what do you guys think? What do you think, Alan? GearFest
I had
2018.
fun. I had a little bit of car trouble this morning, so I didn't get to
Oh
go.
man, yeah, you've been fighting car trouble the whole time.
Yeah, all over the state today. But we did get to go this afternoon, and I was there most of the day yesterday, so it was a lot of fun. Got to meet some cool people, see a lot of cool gear. Yeah.
I'm glad it happened before my hiatus on gear at the end of July. I have parted with a lot of money this weekend.
So, by the way, David has his own podcast called The Practical Guitarist.
I'm getting there.
You're getting there, but I want to. I'll do it for you so you don't get too long-winded.
All right.
You just started a thing that you're going to start next month with your co-host, where you're going to stop buying gear for some awful reason.
We're doing okay. So it's the hardest thing that a guitar player could do, which is to say, basically, like, I'm going to stick with what I have for a year. It's a competition. Jim and I know we're not going to last a year. There's no way.
So it's whoever calls Uncle first loses.
Basically,
Okay.
yes. And the funny part about it is we're allowed to buy, like, parts if something breaks or strings, but, like, we can't buy guitars. We can't buy pedals. We can't...
Katana heads.
You better get specific with that really fast.
We can't buy... I think we can buy cables. That's, like, one of the things you can buy. We're going to publish a list.
What about microphones? You bought that MV88 today.
So microphones if it's for the podcast. So
Right,
I can't buy a mic that I'm going to use in the studio for recording guitar or something like that.
Sure.
That's a line that's going to be tested.
Yeah.
Before you know it, one of you is going to be like,
no.
I just need some parts, and then you're on Mammoth Electronics buying a kit for a pedal, and then you have a new pedal.
Well, no, so we don't. Neither of us build. We're super practical. Like, we want to buy stuff, and that's why it's the Practical Guitarist. I don't build anymore. I have soldering. I have like a quality soldering iron and everything, and I suck at soldering, and I don't build kits. Like,
so let's go through what you bought this trip. You got the Boss Katana head.
I got the Katana head
Because I was trying to impress the boss rep, so I pressured you into it.
Yes. Well, all right. So here's what really happened. So, like, I showed up at GearFest, and I was gonna bring my Mark V from home, and I was in a cabinet, but I was like, man, I got to fit the family stuff in the trunk as well as my stuff. So I'm like, this is not gonna happen. So last minute, I just said, I'll buy an amp while I'm there. So then I got down here, and I was gonna buy something small, like a Yamaha THR or something. And then that spiraled into, man, for $50 more, I can get a Katana head. And then Ryan was like putting his hands on my shoulders, and he was being all like, "Hey, David,
What do I got to do to
Katana? What do I got to get you in one?"
a Katana?
Yeah, it was kind of creepy. I mean, yeah. So anyway,
I was trying to do that to Alan here to get you into a Compressor Plus too.
Well,
did you end up getting it?
I didn't.
Oh,
no.
man, you embarrassed me in front of Keeley.
I'm sorry.
Katana head, lightning cable. Right, I had to get one of those because my phone kept dying, so I bought a lightning cable, and then I bought earplugs for the entire family for the Yngwie thing because we were sitting in the front row.
Oh man!
And then we also bought an MV88 today. So, and the MV88 was like discount I had to. Oh, and I bought another SM57. So this
For
should
how
get
much?
me for $57, folks.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe what they were.
GearFest.
You wouldn't believe what they were
Limit
selling
two per customer.
SM58s for.
What?
Was it $59?
No, it was 58.
Whoa!
I know. It's incredible.
It's almost like somebody very clever came up with that promotion.
I just realized I didn't do the actual intro to the show. I just went straight into introductions. Hey, everyone, you're listening to 60 Cycle Home, the guitar buying, selling, trading, fixing, modding, breaking, reviewing, playing podcast. Suck it, Steve.
Nice job, Ryan.
Man. Oh, my goodness.
That's how a pro does it.
Yeah.
You've been called out,
I'm
Steve.
dogging on Steve now.
That's why we came up
Sean
with the short
Evans,
one.
eat your
Yeah.
heart out.
So
Oh, my
I
goodness.
bought one of those SM57s because I could not resist the price.
Who could?
I bought one new like a month ago for $99.
Yeah.
And now they're $57 here. I mean, I got to take it on a plane with me to get it home and stuff. And then I bought 2 Furman power strips because those were $20. They're not power strips, they're power conditioners.
Mm-hmm.
I almost went back and
For
got
20
one.
I didn't notice them until today. I ordered them at the desk. Like they scan your badge, and then you have to go pick it up, and you pay later. So I ordered it, and then I looked at the line to like go pick it up. It's like I'll get it later, and then I waited till Yngwie started playing. Did I mess up his name now?
Yngwie.
I was saying it like correctly all day. Yngwie. I waited till he started playing. I watched like 2 songs. I'm like, I'm gonna go get my power conditioners now because everyone was watching him. And by the time I was done, I came back and I caught like 2 more songs from him.
Man. Well, and it's crazy too because like I said, this is my first GearFest, and it is important to note. So I'm not here representing Sweetwater in any sort of official capacity.
Sweetwater.
In a way, I certainly do, absolutely. But I'm here because I'm buddies with these guys.
If the boss is listening, you're doing a very good job representing the company. He's a good Sweetwater boy.
Well, all that aside, I say all that to say, I didn't even have a scope of the type of deals that are offered at GearFest.
It was nuts.
Yeah, it was insane. I was like, taking off my Sweetwater hat, the stuff that I saw was legitimately like, this is worth flying from California for. This is worth, it was a spectacle, and the prices and the performances and the artists, and even just getting to interact with. Like I talked to John Good today from DW Drums.
Nice.
Like
I don't know who that is, but it sounds really nice.
He's the founder of DW Drums, who make fine drums. But you guys got to meet Paul Reed Smith. You guys got to see some of the movers and shakers. Talk to Brian Wampler and Robert Keeley, for goodness sakes. I mean, where else are you going to find? I walked up to my desk. I was ready to take my lunch, and I walked up to my desk and looked over to my right, and there was Chris Lordau like grabbing a coffee.
I got to meet my Sweetwater rep, which is
actually that's cool.
Shout out to Robert Williams.
Robert Robert is the man. It was so great getting to hang out with him, and like I never thought I would have like an exciting relationship with like a guy who works at a guitar store and is like, this is the guy I talked to on the phone and through emails, and he takes care of me. And he took me on like this grand tour of the whole facility. And I can't believe the things that I saw. It's like I got to see Charlie's Chocolate Factory,
You're like putting on your host pants right now, because literally as I was driving over here, it's like, I know he's the host and I don't want to like guide this show, but I'm really curious to hear a little bit about Ryan's relationship with Robert, because I mean, Robert and I are kind of cut from the same cloth.
Yeah.
Big pedal
I mentioned you and he was like, Brandt's great.
But I mean, I'm just interested to hear, because like from a customer perspective, like what your relationship with Robert looks like, and
so here's how it like started. Like I was like, I'm going to try buying something from Sweetwater because everyone's always talking about it. I want to get that sweet candy.
when was this, by the way?
This was like a year and a half, 2 years ago that I first bought anything from Sweetwater. So right away they assigned me, my rep. It's Robert. He emails me like, oh, your order, this and that. Oh, it's going to take longer than maybe you anticipated. It's going to take like 4 days. I'm like, okay. Like, that sounds normal to me. He's like, so sorry it's going to take so long. And then he calls me as like an introductory, like, hey, I'm going to be your rep. Like, nice to meet you. And he starts asking me like questions about my personal rig and what I play and what I do. And I tell him like I'm a demo guy and stuff like that. He's very interested. And then he starts telling me about his personal rig. And I'm like, is this gonna turn into like a sales thing to like get me to like buy other stuff that he's like recommending? And then he like just wraps up his thing about his personal rig, and we're like chewing the fat about it. And he's like, well, it was really great talking to you. Bye. And he was just telling me about his personal rig just to be a person. Like, it was incredible.
How long did that take, by the way? I mean,
it wasn't super
in which
long,
rig?
But it was like it was very personal, and it was very like efficient. Like it wasn't like an hour-long conversation, but it felt like I got to know this person. This is a real person who's handling me. And I honestly feel like it works. If it's a sales tactic, it completely works. Everyone should do this as salespeople, because when I go and buy things from other companies now, like Sweetwater doesn't have it for whatever reason, I feel bad. I'm like, I should be buying this from Robert. I should be helping Robert.
Well, now, and that was what was interesting too. Like, I mean, you and I were talking last night about a pedal that you picked up that we don't carry. I mean, and there was a shred of like,
I wish you guys did.
If you guys had it, I would have bought it from Sweetwater. And there wasn't like, it wasn't like I was guilting you into that. There was like a genuine.
I had to buy it from Guitar Center. Yeah,
I'm
and
sorry.
They haven't given me any like.
There was no candy.
They haven't given me like, oh, it's going to be here this now, or they haven't even told me it's shipped yet, and it said it was supposed to ship that day.
Yeah.
So it's like, but it also said it was pre-ordered that day. I ordered the TC drip, by the way.
Oh, naturally.
Yeah, naturally.
Imagine that, Ryan ordering a Surf Rock pedal. What? But no,
it was just incredible. Like the whole tour, like seeing everything. And he like introduced me to all sorts of people. He took me up to the owner of Sweetwater, who was up at the front door. Yeah. And I got to shake his hand and say hi. And he's like, and Robert introduced me. He's like, oh, meet Ryan. He's a very popular podcaster. And I was like, I don't think you know our numbers.
Well, but that's the thing too. I mean, like it's not at all a sales tactic, and I mean I know that sounds cheesy, but like the crazy thing about being here, and again, like I say, I was working someplace else when I met all these guys, so like I'm not just saying that to put my Sweetwater hat on, but
Right.
like there's. At this moment, there's around 330, 340 sales engineers, and every single one of us is actively involved in music, and we're passionate about it. And that's something that, like, at previous employers that were music retailers, sometimes in certain circumstances, I was the only one who was actively playing music.
Well,
And
you
that
used to
was
work
such
Guitar Center, right?
I may or may not have worked for a company that had a big red G in their logo.
There might have been a center involved.
Yeah, well, and I worked with a lot of great people there, and some of my best friends still work there, and so that's not a knock. But there were certain times where I was the only person who was consistently playing live music, and there were others when everybody was. So that was, that's neither here nor there. But it's so great to be around, literally hundreds of the most brilliant minds in music. I mean, Robert was doing like broadcast media before this for decades.
Wow,
and like at a high level too. And I mean, but he's a gear geek just like you and me. I mean, he reads all those same forums. To you or to him, you are a big deal. Like the fact that you're Ryan from 60 Cycle Hum. We all browse all these forums, and we all
it was really bizarre. Like I don't want to sound like I'm bragging because that's not what I want to do. But like I had people coming up to me like, "Hey,
are you bragging right now?"
I know, right? But like it was surprising to me how many of those people that were coming up to me were wearing Sweetwater shirts. We're Sweetwater people,
Yeah.
I was like, do they have like a poster of me up somewhere in like, the break room or something? Like, look out for this dude.
Yeah, we were Ryan and I were legitimately walking around talking about how like they probably have some sort of training so that people know who like the influencers or whatever are.
But also like early on in my relationship with Robert, like
That's so cool though. That's awesome.
I did like this video where like I had ordered something from Sweetwater and I got deep into some Mai Tais one night after like receiving something in the mail, and I did a drunken review of the candy and put it up on YouTube. And then Robert saw it, and I think he was sharing it around the office or something like that.
But
I need to find this now.
Plenty of people know you from the stunts, though, like throwing an SL off the bridge.
Oh yeah,
you had people come in and be like, "Dude, are you going to throw this one off a bridge?" he was looking at a $3,000 PRS, and somebody walks up and they're like, "Are you going to throw that one off a bridge too?"
Yeah. I know, a weird moment. I'm like, I seriously don't want to sound like I'm bragging. Like I want people to think I'm humble. Like I want that to be my persona, even though I'm not. You guys know that. I'm just full of myself.
You fail.
It's true.
But like when I'm done, at the end of me like hanging out with Robert, like there was someone up like in my peripheral coming to like shake his hand, and I'm like, okay, I'll let you go, Robert, so you can talk to these guys. I'll go do other stuff. And I start to turn, and they're going in to shake my hand, and it's the guys from Eventide. And they're like, Ryan, we're so glad to meet you. We love your stuff. And I'm like, okay. I've never talked to you dudes before, but okay, yeah, let's do something.
and I don't think that's bragging either. Like in my mind, it just shows what a tight knit community musicians are, and like what I don't know. It just is. It doesn't strike me as like a boastful thing. It's
Sure.
I almost went up to. I was telling these guys. I almost went up to Glenn Fricker the other day. Like I was just stoked to see somebody like. Yeah, I almost did. Well, I'm sitting here wearing my blue Sweetwater polo, and I'm going like, is this the professional thing to do? To like come out? And I'm just like grabbing my lunch, grabbing some Bravos patatas and a chili dog.
He would have talked to you. Like,
oh, totally. Yeah. But I'm just sitting here going like, this is not what he came here for. To like have.
It is though. No, it is. Like Glenn didn't show up and make any content. I barely made any content. Him and I were talking about it. It's like you go to these things for the people. You go to talk to people. Like because there's not much you can actually do there content wise. Like because it's too challenging.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I had two vendors that I was trying to get interviews with while I was there, and honestly, I just said I'll just contact them immediately after because it's just one of those things where like it's too noisy.
Yeah,
it's too hard to get them away from the booth. I don't want to jeopardize them making sales.
All those people that are working their booths are in a certain mental mode that it's like impossible to break them out of. Like for years, I tried to like go and do interviews on the floor at NAMM and stuff like that. No one's ready to do that.
No, it's hard enough to do any content on the floor.
And what they do when you do get them is that they just give their spiel. And that's not what most of us want. Mm-hmm. We want to talk to
a little bit of life out of it.
We want to talk to the person about their personal stuff. We don't want this is the new product. This is what it does. Here's the range of the controls. We're just so excited that this artist is using it, and you know, like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there? What are some like memorable stuff from GearFest for you?
What I want to
guys?
know is, did you make it down the slide today?
I went down the slide.
Yeah,
I went down
Yeah.
I went down the slide with Robert Baker.
Yes.
It was super cool. I met Robert for the first time today. He was supposed to go to TGU. His flight got completely messed up and he never made it. So it's like I met up with him for the first time. It felt like we'd been hanging out our whole lives. It was really casual and fun. He's a nice guy.
That's so cool.
We were just cruising around. We went and checked out the flea market booth, which is what I want to talk about. I've got a bunch of photos from that.
we need
that
to get to the flea market booth there. The only thing I want to share is like when I was walking around, I expected it to be kind of like a Guitar Center atmosphere and a lot of locals. And there was almost everybody I talked to had traveled from somewhere.
Did you see the map that people were putting stars on?
Yeah,
That was cool.
It's like
And-
people all over the country. I'm surprised. They should put up a global map next time. I
Right.
would not be surprised if there were people from all over the world coming in.
But it wasn't that. It was that everybody there has the same passion for the equipment that we do. And that's what surprised me. Like, you always expect there's like the guy coming to get a guitar, like for his first guitar and that kind of stuff. None of that was going on. These people were diehards
Yeah.
and they knew the gear very, very well.
Well, we were talking about coming in. It's kind of a weird thing to have like this huge fandom, like event festival based around shopping at a guitar store,
Yeah.
basically. Because it's like that's really still all you're doing. Like there's people playing in like talks and stuff like that, but for the most part, people are there to celebrate a music store, and they came from super far away to do it. Like that's quite a pilgrimage for a place that will deliver to you in a couple days.
Yeah.
Well, not to brag, but I think we throw a pretty mean party.
It's
I think
Thousands and thousands of pounds of candy, people.
Pretty damn good party. Free water all around.
Yes, sir.
You're thirsty?
you got to stay hydrated.
Go to Sweetwater. They're going to hydrate you.
Oh, we'll hydrate.
I swear,
From the
somebody,
side.
one of
The
your
water's
guys
gonna-
came up with a funnel, put it in my mouth, and just dumped water in
Yeah,
there.
you look dry. We're gonna fill you up. No, but it's serious. It's like we were talking, like wondering, like, do you make the money back from the event that you spend to throw the event, like by selling stuff, or is it like a loss leader, or is it like do you make money? Like, it'd be interesting to know that information. You know,
I mean, that's well.
I'm talking to you like you represent all Sweetwater, like,
No,
like you know the books
no,
and
but
stuff
totally.
like that. Yeah.
I don't know. Like that's obviously way above my
You
pay grade.
you
but,
shouldn't speculate because I don't want to get you in
Well,
trouble.
I'm not going to. But I mean, like just to. There's a part of me that says like even. I don't know. Even if it was, we probably would still do it anyway. Like that's sort of the whole ethos that's gotten us, where we are 40 years, almost 40 years later.
Right.
They're just
So like we have one mission statement, not just as a company, but like internally with how we interact with each other, and that's to always do the right thing. And that's I don't know.
Is that like a thing that people say?
Oh,
like,
big time.
Always do the right thing.
Oh, absolutely.
It feels
Yeah.
like that's like spot on for the way they operate.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Oh, totally. And that's top down too. I mean, like I'm sure you guys like got to see. I mean, we have. I mean, there's a.
it's incredible the things that they do to take care of you employees.
Oh,
like
gosh.
I'm so impressed. Like
There's a free arcade where
there's
employees'
free-
families are encouraged to
Dude, there's-
come so they can play with their kids. We have
okay, this is what
hair
I
salon.
I saw the hair salon. You were saying that there's medical care on
yeah, I was
site.
standing in front of the doctor, like
Yeah.
live Facebook Live.
And by the way,
There's
Dr. Todd, a bass player, a very passionate bass player. Yeah.
They still only hire musicians.
The blues doctor.
Yeah, I was just gonna say he's not a blues doctor. Like,
So he's just got a ton of PRSs, huh? But you have a racquetball court. You have a DVD and video game rental center. Like I can't remember all the stuff that you have. Like there's just all this stuff to support like the well-being and happiness of the employees. It's just incredible.
I mean, and that gets passed down. I mean, that's the interesting thing. Like,
There's a real investment in the employees.
oh, big time.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, when you were talking about it the other night when we were out to dinner, I was like, okay, I'll pick up an application.
If I have to.
seriously. Well,
so
I mean, you got two people in house who'd root for you. So,
Yeah.
hey.
it was really funny because we were walking around and like I've worked events like this. That's part of what the association actually, my day job is. I work for an association. We do several major events a year, and at least one of them has 1,000 attendees plus like 700 or 800 vendors that show up. And when actually individuals for companies, but nevertheless, like it's draining. You walk, you're on your feet all day. It's like literally the last one I did, I walked 11 miles in a day.
Yeah,
and that was in like within 8 hours. And you think about like these people that you're walking around, you're talking to, and I was always trying to be like super respectful and thanking them for everything they're doing, because I understand like what misery that is.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone had a big smile on their
man.
face. We're like, it's no big deal. Don't worry about it. I'm like, what is this?
At the end of
Leave
the
it to
day,
Beaverland?
at the end of the day today, when I was in the line to pick up my power conditioners while Yngwie's playing, like everybody involved, like I had to pass through like 5 people to get my product. Everyone, including the person holding the door open all day, like just standing there holding the door open, big, like sincere smile on their faces.
To be fair, that's 1 hour from the end of the day, Ryan. I mean, they were kind of like,
no, but it was like that the entire time. Like everyone's
Yeah, I know.
excited, everyone's stoked. Like, and if they're not, they're doing a great job hiding it. Very, very professional. But like hotels could learn something from Sweetwater. Like just the hospitality side of it was just over the top.
Yeah, man. I didn't mean for this to turn into
No,
a
but
big Sweetwater. I mean, my Sweetwater ego
let's get to the 10.
needs to be drained.
Well,
but
I'm just trying to get everyone at Sweetwater to listen to the podcast so we can double our numbers.
there we go. There we go. It's symbiotic here.
Did you pin one of your
Isn't there-
business cards to the board? Because
No,
they
I
had
didn't.
one.
Oh man. See what I'm
Well,
concerned with now.
Everyone over there already knows about me. You know, no big deal.
His head is growing as we podcast.
It's hilarious, and I do want to hear about the flea market so badly because I didn't get a chance to check everything out. But I was sitting with these guys for about 5 minutes, just while I had a second to take a walk and grab a bite to eat. And literally, I think within the 5 minutes that I was there, somebody walked up to you.
Yeah.
And I couldn't hear. There was somebody playing at the time, and I couldn't hear everything that was said. But it was the gist that I was getting was like, Are you Ryan from 60 Cycle Hub?
Yeah.
Like some guy walked up, and I was like, "This is legit." Like
their first day, Alan's wearing his 60 Cycle Hum shirt, and so people are like, Steve?
I said, in fairness, I do have a dark
You
beard,
look
and I
a
was
little-
wearing the same hat that Steve wears all the
You
time.
look a little different. Yeah, you're wearing a creation hat. Like you look, and you got glasses. Like you kind of like.
I'm a lot shorter than Steve.
Like if you
I'm
were-
assuming I've never met him.
If you were like
people don't know that because he's not in the videos.
if you were weak characters, you would look very similar. You know,
I
kind
bet.
of same thing.
If
And
you're
then
weak
today,
characters.
David's walking around with me. He's wearing his 60 Cycle Hum shirt today.
Yeah.
And people are like,
Please tell me somebody
I
called you
can't place
Steve.
you. I don't know how you're involved.
Not quite, but they were like looking at me like, is that Steve? And I'm like,
Yeah, who's that?
no, I run another podcast.
Oh my goodness.
No, I'm a long-term supporter of 60 Seconds, but I run another podcast.
You ran out of business cards.
I ran out of business cards.
You were hustling this whole weekend.
I hustled my butt off.
For real though, Steve, if you're listening, which I know you are, I don't know why I'm saying that, but
Steve doesn't listen anymore.
Steve doesn't listen to
checked out long ago.
That's why he's not in the videos.
exactly.
No,
He
he's
doesn't.
probably listening.
He doesn't consume his own brand. But for real, Steve. Okay, look. Here's the deal. Next year it's your turn. Ryan made the trip out here.
Yeah, I'm gonna
You
have
get
a new
out
kid.
here.
It's your turn, Steve.
Look, and here's the deal. Like, I get it. You had a softball game. You had some family time to spend. Come here from Tuesday to Saturday. You can play on my softball team on Tuesday nights. We've got a team largely made up of Sweetwater sales engineers.
Well, I think that's like the whole town, isn't it? The whole
Yeah,
city
you'd-
is like
You'd
Sweetwater.
think, but hey, I mean, you guys went downtown. There's a lot more
There
to
is.
it than
There's plenty of
Yeah,
people
but
here.
it was funny. We went to Shigs and Pitt, and they knew what it was because I was like, "Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like, we
buddy.
just came from GearFest." And
I
they're
was
like,
so
"Oh, did you?"
bummed, too.
The guy
Yeah.
who rented my car to me at the airport knew what I was going to.
Yeah,
He's like, "You're going to Sweetwater, huh?"
yeah.
Man, it's a big deal, and that's I don't say that going like, yeah, we're a big deal. I go that from a perspective of this was my first time experiencing all of it, and after basically a year of working at the company, I got here right after GearFest last time, and so yeah, I mean that was a really amazing thing, and I'm proud to have been a part of it. It really is a big thing, I guess, in the
Yeah, yeah.
town. But
It's pretty incredible. I'll say this: if you are within reasonable driving distance to your opinion, whoever you are, go. Like seriously, go.
Yeah.
GearFest.
I'll see you next year.
Like if there's something that you're looking for, and you see on the list that the vendor is going to be there presenting, dude, go. You're going to save money.
or just come because it's awesome.
And go because it's awesome. Go to watch the clinics and the performers. Like it was a
Yeah,
it was a
if
lot
you're
of fun.
broke, still come.
Well, and even if you're not in driving distance, I mean, there like, I mean, I had customers where we were looking up like what it would cost to fly out, and I mean, there's some pretty reasonable flights, and I mean, there are some people who travel from pretty far to get here, and yeah, so you don't even have to be in driving distance. I thought it was only going to be people who were within driving distance,
Right.
and people came from all over the place.
I flew in. I mean, the inner circle paid for it, but thanks, guys.
If you're not in the inner circle, you need to be in the inner circle.
It was funny. Like the night that I flew in, Alan met me at Steak and Shake, and I was like, "Don't worry, I got this. I got the bill." And he's like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Yeah, inner circle's going to pay for it." And you're like, "Oh, so I'm paying for it?"
It's okay. I got it, Ryan.
Oh my goodness!
So you've been to Summer NAMM and GearFest now.
Yeah.
I know they have different goals for what they are trying to accomplish, but I want to hear a comparison.
I'd say that Sweetwater is a little bit bigger than Summer NAMM.
Okay.
Where Summer NAMM is like, it's way more like business oriented, like retailers are meeting and having meetings, and like the booths are a lot more like official in air quotes, but then it's like you don't get as much like of the experience of getting to hang out, I guess. Like I don't know, there's just something more charming. I'll say that. There's something more charming about being at Sweetwater, but then on the flip side, Nashville's a ton of fun. Like a ton of fun. So I'd recommend both of them, honestly.
Well, and was Fort Wayne what you expected it to be? Because I think being from...
I think it's way nicer than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
But I didn't look at any pictures. I just looked at the map, and I'm like,
That's
this
just
place looks tiny.
Ryan, that's just because you asked me and I told you it was in Indiana, so it's probably a meth lab.
Well, I think no matter what you put before Indiana, there's a certain picture that people have who aren't from the area. And I moved down from Chicago. I was living in Albany Park, and I was like, I'm moving to the cornfields. And I'd been to Fort Wayne before. I was like, I'm just moving to nowhere. Like, what is this going to be? And I got there, and I was like, this is a city. Like,
No, it is. It's totally a city, and you can be entertained there. There's fun stuff to do. There's fun restaurants. There's a freaking donut ice cream place. Man.
Shout out to Yummy Bunny.
Oh, Yummy Bunny. That was divine.
The Hoppy
They
Gnome was
deliver,
good,
man.
too.
Yeah, the Hoppy Gnome was good.
I mean, they have paneer tacos.
Yeah,
David,
right.
where else can you
am I
get
gonna
paneer
a
tacos?
Where am I going to get a paneer taco?
I'll say I don't count those as tacos. They were very good, but those don't register as tacos for me.
No, you're not going to get paneer
And I'm
at
not
a
saying,
Mexican place.
and I'm not saying that they're not good. I'm just saying like the fillings that are inside. Like this isn't a taco. This is a delicious dish contained within a tortilla.
Yeah,
you know.
and that's kind of the thing that makes it cool. Is it's sort of like a culinary.
But we have stuff like that in San
Indiana,
Diego
Max.
too.
Well, and there were fish tacos. I was surprised you passed on the fish tacos.
Well,
I
it's
figured,
like,
here comes the guy
I
from
don't
San
want.
Diego.
I don't want to like. My whole thing. I want to try stuff that I can't
That's
get
true.
at home for the most part. That's my.
That's
journey.
why we went
queso.
for barbecue.
Oh man, we got some good barbecue tonight. There's
Dude.
leftovers here sitting in between us. Thank you guys for not like making chewing.
Yeah,
sounds
I was
right
gonna
now.
say, I'm like self-conscious about that. I'm sitting
Yeah.
here with a switchable microphone. And I'm worried about chewing noises.
So I went in there. It's called Shigs and Pit, and it's
I don't know if you
totally
guys
worth
caught it, but that's
Shigs and Pit. Spell it out. You'll have fun. I went in there. I was like, I want to try everything. So I ordered like the $30 platter that comes with it comes with 6 bones of ribs and 3 other meat sides and 2 other sides. I finished all the mac and cheese. Best mac and cheese. I've had.
so
Yeah,
good,
it's
right?
so
with,
good.
The, with the jalapenos in it.
Yeah,
Oh.
and the baked beans were incredible. The apple pie.
The
baked
apple,
beans.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, the ribs were fantastic. I got this smoked ham stuff. I got some sausage. I got some
Did you
brisket.
get the little like cornflake casserole thing?
I did not.
Oh, that's all right. That's
I'm
all right.
sorry.
Next time.
Next time when I come back in a couple decades.
Man, I was so bummed too because Shigs is and you guys went to the original Shigs on
did we?
Fairfield, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
And that's like
love
right
it.
across the street from my house. I lived like 2 blocks down from that. So
Yeah.
you like legitimately, I could have walked to where you guys were at, but I was on a trolley.
Should we talk about
Yes.
some of the flea market
Please,
stuff there? I wasn't
please.
expecting the flea market booth. I was pleasantly surprised and walked in there. I was like, "This is where I live. This is my stuff. This is fantastic." So, Alan, you have one pulled up. Do you want to start with that, or you have something else in mind?
Oh my gosh, there's photos.
We saw this one together.
We can just run through stuff like.
Yeah, somebody be the master of ceremonies on this.
So this first one, I'm looking at this photo of an SX bass headstock that looks like it started out as like a P bass style thing. Cut in half. They cut the tip off. They gave it a really like terrible circumcision, and then they moved like the 2 last tuners to the bottom side of it to make it look like the end of like a boat oar. You know, like it's bad, and it's just kind of neat, almost like the square inlays, like maple fretboard neck on it, but then it's attached to. There's no way this is an SX body. SX is like the house brand of Rondo music.
Right.
There's some sort of like semi-hollow, like bass guitar body with bass guitar like soap bar pickups in it. It looks super funky, and they're asking $125 for this thing. It's missing the bridge hardware. Who knows if this thing works at all? But it's just a disaster. I feel like we should go through a lot of this stuff quickly.
So I just got one thing to say about this one though. I mean, do you think like maybe they cut the tip off because they were trying to get it into the overheads on an airplane?
Interesting.
There was a guitar there that was like that. I don't know if you saw the acoustic travel guitar.
Yeah,
in
I did.
air
I did.
quotes.
We were going to talk about that one.
It had a hinge on it. Where I don't think I got good photos of it, but like the whole top wing, like
Yeah, the upper
wing,
bout completely
the upper bout of the
separated.
guitar would open up on a hinge so that you could access a wing nut that was holding the neck on.
Yeah.
So the neck could be separated from the guitar to make it a travel acoustic.
Now, admittedly, when I saw that thing, I didn't realize it did all that because they did a really good job with it.
Yeah, it closes
But it's
up
still
tight.
insane.
But like the way you hold the upper bout together is there's 2 screws with metal washers around them and a string, and you wrap around.
So this
the
wasn't
washers
like
with
a
string.
this wasn't like a
No.
legit. Oh
No,
man.
and when I saw this thing, I about cried tears of joy. I was like, "That's perfect material for this podcast."
There was that electric hardtop banjo that we saw. What were they asking for that? $500, an old Harmony. I'm trying to get to the good stuff.
One thing that I did see, and tell me if you didn't see this, but I saw some people have cigar box guitars. That's like
I know
a
where
thing.
we're going.
Yeah,
I know
we're
where
going.
you're
Oh,
going.
I won't spoil it. I won't spoil it.
Do it.
Go
Do
ahead.
it. Take
I
us there.
did see. I saw. I mean, like a cigar box guitar is cool, but like, I mean, I don't know who needs a cigar box guitar when you can get a pizza box
pizza
guitar.
box guitar.
A pizza
Right.
box
Yes.
guitar for $75.
I know, and it looked like they had really nice pickups in them.
Exactly. I mean, like I'd pay $75 for a pickup alone.
It's worth the novelty. You could get, you order pizzas for a party. It's going to be $75.
Right? Oh my goodness.
I'm trying to get to the pictures of it. There they are. I talked to that guy a lot, and he was a blast. He was
Yeah.
fully aware of himself. He had all the jokes ready to go.
Oh yeah, like he heard it all before.
He was talking about tone cardboard and
Yeah,
he was talking
so
about
good.
like the grain of the cardboard and things.
Did he
like
say that like sausage has like a meteatier tone to it? Like if you got a sausage
I was
pizza
asking,
in it?
Yeah.
I was
Oh,
asking
man.
if they can come with pineapple, and he gave me a look like,
He knows what's up.
Oh my goodness.
It's like, really?
But yeah, he was serious about his box selection. I asked him like, would you ever consider doing like a New York Giant bass guitar? And he's like, you know what? They don't have the structural integrity. They fall apart. I'd have to build a frame for them, and it's just not worth it at that point. Like he went into
He's-
like
yeah, he's gotten down to the size.
No,
Like,
he
he's
was
like-
serious about it. He wasn't joking that part. Like he was talking about personal experience trying to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think honestly, like if they're, I don't know, if he's out there listening, and I hope he is.
I gave him a-
really
I
hope
gave
he
him a-
is.
Said he's going to listen. Yeah.
I
Oh,
gave him a
that's
card, and I
beautiful.
told him several times like, we're going to talk about you.
Yeah.
He's got a
On a-
Reverb store, by the way. Go look up Pizza Box Guitars on Reverb.
On a
You'll find
personal
them.
level, if he came to GearFest next year with a deep dish with a Lou Malnati's box with
Oh,
a bass
absolutely.
with a bass that was a deep dish cigar box bass, and it doesn't even have to be a bass. If he showed up with a Lou Malnati's box on anything,
yeah.
Like
I'm
baritone.
buying it.
Just a baritone.
Just a baritone. If
There's
there
slide
was
guitars,
a
by the
deep
way.
dish Lou
They're not-
Malnati's box, and it has to be Lou's because
Yeah, it's got to come
we
from
all know
Lou's.
it's the best, right?
He probably has some sort of beef with them where it's like the cardboard's not
No,
good enough.
beef doesn't belong on pizza. Those are good. Those are sturdy boxes, by the way.
Yeah.
And the
Some
funny,
heavy pizza you put in there.
the funniest part about the whole thing was they were standing there and it was like, why don't you make a 15-inch or like a 12-inch? And he's like, 10 inches the best. He's like, it's the best box for this. Like, he's like, it's got the right resonance. And like,
And I was picking up playing it. I hand it to you as like, feel how it resonates against your belly.
yeah, dude. You
can
it's
feel it.
legit. Like, it feels like an
Man.
acoustic guitar. It was
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I really like the one with the sound hole cut out.
Yeah, well, that one has a piezo pickup.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the acoustic model, and he's like, this one does sound better.
He said he tried with the pickups and it got too much feedback, so he kept those as a solid buy. No cutout in that one.
That's so cool.
They're chambered, not solid.
Yeah.
Super
chambered.
nice,
Oh my
friendly
goodness.
guy. Like,
David found a Hondo, didn't he?
Are we
Ooh.
talking about that one?
oh yeah.
This one comes complete with a place to hide your dope.
No, so that
No.
I'm pretty
Stop
sure
it.
that was built as like a tribute reference to like a Van Halen guitar.
I don't know.
Because he had a Star guitar that's got a Dan Electro headstock on it. I don't have a picture of the headstock.
Yeah, well,
Doesn't
the
make it cool.
that
Does his have a 6-inch gash in the bottom?
But it might have. I don't know.
Semi-hollow?
But this has a Dan Electro neck on it.
This thing
but
has
it's a
been
Star
played-
guitar with a Floyd Rose and a zebra humbucker in it.
this thing has been played hard.
Or someone relicked it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
hard.
And it looks pretty. It looks looks
Hashtag
very,
natural relic.
But that's a hole right there.
So that's why I'm like, I don't know about that.
That
Ryan.
didn't happen. That didn't happen on purpose. That was an
No,
accident.
because that looks like the knob actually split
Yep.
the wood, and then the hole formed
Totally.
afterwards.
It's pretty wild looking. It's
So-
pretty wild. I was surprised how much like stuff that like I consider to be good stuff. They're good and like entertaining, you know. Like
Okay,
there were some
though.
real
But
gems
is that,
there.
Is that? Am I reading that price tag right?
$325. That's what he
No,
wants.
you are reading it right. That's why I took the
okay.
picture.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I think this is someone's attempted a replica of something.
Some nice lady or gentleman out there was doing you.
I got to show you the one that I am glad sold today, so that I didn't feel compelled to buy it.
I really
almost-
tried to convince you to buy this one.
I almost bought this bass, and I had no. First of all, I don't play bass.
But you could if you
when
bought
I
this.
do when I do, it's a joke, and everyone says, "Please stop." I have no way to get it home because I'm flying, and it's like I'd have to buy luggage to take this home or like pay to ship it. It's this K branded headless bass that's shaped like a tiki lounge boat paddle. And it's like
screamed Ryan.
It's this beautiful wood grain with like a dark fade around the edges, gold hardware. It's got kind of like the J plus P bass pickup thing going on, and it played great. It was super fast. It was like $250, and like the first day I kept going back and looking at it. It's like, don't do this, Ryan. Don't do this to yourself. You don't need this right now.
Ryan's going home and he's going to get on Reverb right away and start looking for these. He's going to add that to his feed.
It's just something about it spoke to me.
The
there's
first
a
thing you
picture
did
of
this
Alan
morning-
playing it.
The first
I
thing,
went over there first thing.
yeah, the first thing you did this morning, you got out of the car and then you disappeared and like all of a sudden, like he's like, oh, the bass is gone.
Do you see how much he wants it in that picture?
Show me
There's
a picture
like-
of myself.
There's
There I am.
There's like a
Send that picture
legitimate
to me, by the
yearning.
way.
There's like a bond that's
certainly will.
happening there. Yeah.
No, I was all about it, and it felt really nice, and it was just funky enough to be super good.
Man,
I'm still into it.
I'm like still like I'm just picturing you at home, like specifically in your green frilly shirt, playing that bass, living out all of your like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, like headless guitar dreams.
Oh man,
I had a Steinberger at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you pretend like you were in the Wild Stallions?
No, actually.
Oh man.
And you know, I didn't connect the fact that I had a Steinberger to that movie until like
yeah, the
after I got
Cobra
rid of
strap.
it.
I asked somebody. Okay, and there must have. And again, like
I should have gotten that and made it like the official Sinusoid strap.
Yes.
Was it like $150 though?
It's real cobra skin,
It's got-
$125
It's
for a
not just
strap.
real cobra skin. It's got the cobra's face
I
on
actually
it.
love that thing.
Right there.
I would
Apparently,
use it right now.
Not only can you feel like there's a snake behind you, but you can feel like there's a
it's
snake
wrapped all
holding your
around you.
guitar up in the air.
yeah. Apparently, there was a great performance over the Steinberger booth.
Really?
Yeah, and
didn't
that's
know
what
there
I.
was a Steinberger
so
booth.
Yeah.
well, and I
NS,
relied
NS
upon
Designs.
People, yeah, NS
That's
Designs.
Ned Steinberger.
Okay.
And so I was in this position where I kind of relied on other people to tell me about what was like,
Yeah, like what was going
you know,
on.
what was noteworthy to them, and not just like what was happening, but what was like sticking out to them. Because I think that's what matters at a place like that is like what's cool and unique. Like I heard over and over again, like last year we had a guy from like at the Sabian booth from Sabian who was literally like had an anvil out and was hand hammering
Yeah.
symbols
Yeah,
for
yeah.
people, and you could go up and you could order a custom symbol based on like what you,
You know,
would say.
they had that guy at NAMM last year. And it's like, I can't stand being in the drum area, but I want to watch this guy. And so I watched for like a couple minutes. And
Primitive
then I had
technology.
Then I had to roll out of there. It'd be worth it to have earplugs to go watch him because it was pretty cool.
It was probably cooler when it was a GearFest. But that aside,
No, it probably was cool.
one of the people, when I asked them, I said, what was the coolest thing that you've seen today? They said the NS Designs booth. Like and I think he said like, oh, those like stick, stringed instruments, those like stick basses and stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, like the NS Design stuff. And he's like, yeah, they had like a
Are those
guitar
the
that
ones
was
with the weird
minimalist.
flat string on them? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Well, they have like flat wound strings on them.
No, I mean there's this stick instrument that like the string is flat like a violin bow, and it's like a piece strip of metal or something like that. You don't know what I'm talking about.
No, that's
Okay, never mind.
But it was
interrupted.
the NS Design stuff. Well, no, I mean apparently it was pretty cool, which is awesome to hear. I mean, like that's
Yeah, so that whole thing, like Steinberger got bought by Gibson, and so he had a non-compete for a number of years, and then he left, and now he started NS Designs, and he's had a bass out for a number of years now. I think he's got a stand-up bass and also a regular electric, but I'm still waiting for the guitar. Like that's what I want to see because he's a very futurist guy, and we'll see what he comes up with.
well, some of his stuff too, just some of the stuff that he designs, like I mean, even just the gearless tuners that you see on Firebirds and stuff. Those are brilliant.
Yeah,
they
came
feel
from
super
him.
smooth, and I mean, some of his strap locks are so like they just collaborated with Dario on a strap lock. Brilliant.
Yeah.
He's a smart guy.
So I want to show you guys another gem from the flea market tent. I don't know if any of you guys saw this. It's an 8-string bass that was over in the same corner as the acoustic travel guitar we were talking about. Look at this thing. I don't know if you saw it. It's like this Tysco like sort of thing. Look at the pictures in the episode description for this. It's been converted from a 4-string bass, obviously. The bridge on it is missing all the saddles.
That's
There's 8 strings just
funky.
going straight into like the end of the saddle. So I doubt this thing intonates
man.
at all or is intonated. They mangled the headstock. It's got the 4 normal tuners and then 4 other tuners on the other side. Like it's like a Fender-shaped headstock. So there's 4 tuners spread out like disproportionately.
Yeah, that string
That's
path
sad.
is
They're
like,
really small. Are they guitar tuners?
Yeah, they kind of look like guitar tuners.
sad.
There's no like bolts around the top of the tuner. And look how the strings are all going different directions.
yeah,
I love it.
Who knows how you're going to tune it?
This is like legit flea market kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I'm like kind
look
of
at the back
impressed,
of this.
honestly.
Look at the back of this headstock.
Yeah,
it is.
It's
Guys,
hilarious.
But here's the deal. Like, here's the cool thing. I mean, because you showed that to me, and my initial reaction was like, "That's kind of funky."
But no pickup in this thing.
Yeah.
The electronic, it has like a Frankenstein style blade switch to
gosh.
turn it on and off.
Yeah.
I have no idea what.
I
Oh,
love
that's
And not
the
like
output
Frankenstein.
jack.
He's talking like it's a lever.
Yeah, it's got a carry handle on the side of it.
Oh, that's
You guys
beautiful.
aren't this thing does not stop giving. There's more.
Oh my gosh.
But wait, there's more.
Wait. It's got rubber feet on the bottom, so you
I love it. I love it. I'm in love.
Put it on the
Ryan,
ground.
I mean, like what you felt for that headless bass is like what I'm feeling right now for this instrument.
So guess the price. Guess what this guy was asking.
Oh no! Ah, now you lost me. Okay, tell me.
You guess.
No.
Alan, guess.
I don't. $200.
$20.
Yep.
Oh,
You coulda had
come on. Oh,
This thing is a wall hanger for $20. Like,
It's a piece of art.
If I had driven there instead of flown, this thing would have gone.
that would be on my wall right now.
Dude, I gotta say two things about this guitar. Number one, I dubbed the roll your own bass. Okay, get the drug reference. Number two is the fact that like this reminded me, and the other one, the folding guitar that we talked about earlier. This reminded me of that pawn shop guitar.
Yeah,
you could hang this on your wall and like put it in the back of your Craigslist ads.
Yeah,
and people will call you about this thing.
I could have hung it in the back. I could have hung it behind me in videos, and people were like, "You got to check out this guy's channel. He's got the craziest thing."
What is that thing?
Well, and the other thing too is like, I mean, let's say you remove those 4 tuners, which who knows why somebody decided that.
Yeah.
Good idea.
I wouldn't remove those tuners. I would just remove the strings from them. And leave
Yes.
the
Okay. Yeah. But you
Smart.
you repurpose the tuners. Let's call it that. And you put some saddles on there, and you throw a pickup in there, and that's a really unique
You got
bass.
a soup cooking.
that dog will hunt right
You got
there.
yourself a stew going.
And that sounds like where this came from.
Exactly.
I love it. For $20, I
know.
love it.
I love it for $20. I totally would have
sad I
taken
missed
it.
that.
It's a pound puppy situation.
If I didn't fly, I could have taken it.
At worst, you spend $20 and take it outside the tent and smash it.
That's like if you guys ever watch Strong Bad, that's like a Lil Brother like bass right there.
Here's Robert, my Sweetwater rep,
man.
holding the travel acoustic.
Oh my gosh.
That's where he found me when I was looking at that thing. He's like, "I work here. What is this?"
He had that in his hand like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this exists.
What else do I have? I think
man, you didn't.
I got
do that.
pictures of like the tour he was taking me on.
Wait,
and
hold
stuff
on.
like
Let's
that.
see.
What do you want to look at?
Oh yeah, no, bring me back to E Street there.
Oh shoot, where did we go? Yeah, I got pictures of the street signs for the cubicle farm up there.
Oh man, I work. See, you weren't far enough back. I work like right there.
Well, I got the other side.
Okay.
There's looking the other direction.
Oh man, I'm right.
Oh,
Yeah,
see,
you're
a couple
standing.
rows over.
You're
Okay.
standing. I could have. I don't know.
Yeah, the little cubicle area looks cute. Like everyone's got fun like instruments sitting at their desks and
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
like that, and they all have like fun like decorations up and whatnot. It looks like a fun place to work. And he was
Yeah.
telling me like individual salespeople like manage like somewhere between like 15 and 6,000 customers.
Mhm.
That's insane. I was like, you guys have to be keeping notes on everyone. You can't remember like everyone's like personal details that like for the level of like customer service that they provide. So they pull up some sort of like you pull up some sort of like file on each customer. Like this guy likes cats. Talk about cats.
I don't know anything about what you're talking
You don't have to give away trade secrets. I'm just speculating. You know.
confirm nor deny. But no, I mean, but here's the deal, though. Like that's the interesting thing, because yeah, I mean, a lot of us, we have thousands and thousands and thousands of customers, but really, I mean, at least, and I guess I'm speaking just personally from me again, not representing anything in an official capacity, but just how I prefer to do my job, and what makes a job like this worthwhile is really actually making personal connections with people.
Mm-hmm.
To where when you get on the phone with them, it's not like, oh, I'm trying to remember their kid's name. It's like, oh, they had a gig last weekend and they were worried about this, or they were super pumped to go play a gig at this Harley dealership the next weekend, and like I remember like I've got to I'm gonna call that guy in the morning because I'm actually genuinely like I want to know how that went.
Yeah.
Or like there were 2 people.
Well, that's what you get when you make sure that you hire like actual musicians for these positions. Like you get people who actually care about this stuff because they're actually interested.
Well, and one of the sort of to demonstrate that, like the blessing and the curse of that, like there were 2 people who picked up 2 different Electro-Harmonix pedals. One was a bass DI box last week, and the other bought a compressor. And I was really, really actually interested in what these people thought of these pedals, and so I called them and I left them a voicemail. One was buying this for their really cool bass rig, and the other was buying this to share with their son. And I called one of them and I left them a voicemail about what he and his son thought about it, and I left the other a voicemail about the bass compressor. I did not call the right people for the right product. I was just really genuinely concerned. I wasn't looking at any notes. I just called people. I was like, I don't know. I'm not gonna like mention them by name in here.
Sure,
but,
sure.
But I call like definitely, and so I had to send an email later and be like, I totally, like, please ignore that. And
Right.
they're totally understanding. But so I mean, like all that to say, like.
At least it was in the same ballpark.
Oh,
At
totally.
least you didn't like leave a message for some super expensive piece of gear that like someone could get in trouble with like their partner or something like that. Oh, wondering how you're enjoying that new 10 top PRS.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. But no, I mean, and he was really cool about it.
That
but
would be an awkward phone call. And I cannot can neither confirm nor deny that I've ever had it.
What did you guys think of the performers there? I mean, we got to hang out with Nita a couple times, which was fun, and then get to watch her thing, her clinic.
She got to meet you.
Oh my gosh, shut up!
In the airport.
She had to meet me. She had to endure me a couple times.
So just getting to see. So I watched Greg Koch. I watched
Gregory Cockery.
Yes. Adrian Ballou, and then I saw, of course, Yngwie and Nita Strauss. Of them all, like, Yngwie's great, but I actually enjoyed Nita's the most because I'm standing there with my girls, and so I'm like, I want them to see this. Like, this is really important to me that they understand, like, what this means to them.
They can do this if they want to.
Yeah, and, like, honestly, I got pretty emotional about it because I was like, this is what they need to see.
But she's also just such a genuine person.
Yeah, that's what captured me because, like, even I kind of wrote off because I know what kind of genre music she plays, and like it is kind of up my alley, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, but you're playing in cover bands and stuff. But at the same time, like, I'm familiar with her solo work.
Yeah,
and so when I saw her, I was legitimately floored. She's an excellent
she's playing in cover
guitarist.
Bands. She's playing on a level that I'll never reach.
Certainly. I mean, not many people attain that level.
Yeah,
and it's not just the performance aspect. And we talked about it on our show. She's a performance artist in addition to the fact that she's a guitarist, and that's what got me. It's like I didn't realize there was that level of performance art going on in her. Her activities.
Like, I'm not a shredder. I don't play on that level. I never will. But there's just something about her that's so relatable. The way because she spent a lot of time talking in her clinic. It wasn't just like, hey, watch me play. She was answering real questions that people were really asking from the crowd, and like really getting into stuff. And just the way that she talks about playing and approaching like problems and like solutions and like the gigs that she plays and like the projects she works on and stuff. Like, I can relate to all of this. Like, this is real deal stuff. Like, this is real experience stuff. It was very refreshing. Like, she's a refreshing person to talk to and to like listen to talk. Like,
sure,
that's my critique of Nita.
Well, and that's one that I did get a chance to check out for a little
Get away
bit.
from the drum drum tent.
Yeah, I was enjoying some Bravas Patatas and watching Nita Strauss. And I mean, when I got there, it was all running across the stage, foot up on the monitor, lots of hair flips and stuff.
Yeah.
And so to hear see her go from that, and then 2 seconds later just start talking, like being very vulnerable about like different moments and things that she had to learn.
Like her whole story about like dealing with looming rejection, trying to get onto Alice Cooper's band, like basically being rejected like 4 times. She's telling us how many times she's being rejected and for what reasons she was being rejected. It's like, this is a real deal story. This is incredible.
What got me was her sound check. Like, she's sitting on the side of the stage, just like slinging her legs back and forth, talking to the audience, like not even with a microphone, just talking to people in the front row and stuff. And like, she was just totally comfortable. Like,
and this isn't like a stage thing. Like, there were a lot of people there that you didn't see until they got on stage. She arrived the first day and was walking around GearFest 100% of the time.
Yeah.
Up until
she came to the drum tent a few times.
Up until she got up on stage, and then she got off on stage and continued to walk around. And then she went into the crowd and enjoyed the Yngwie show just like everyone else.
She was running from the Ibanez booth back to the Yngwie show, and like my daughter got to talk to her for a minute there, and then like we got, because we were in the front row in Yngwie, and I'm sitting there watching Yngwie, and like over the side of the stage I see the lighting truss, and she's like kind of tucked away underneath the lighting truss, like so nobody could see her, but she's watching.
It was funny because like after her clinic, she was like, meet me over the Ibanez tent and I'll sign stuff for you. And there's a line around the block.
Oh yeah, it was ridiculous.
But maybe people didn't realize she's
been there the whole time,
all day, both days, and you could have just walked up to her and she'll totally talk to you.
Yeah.
Like,
And by the way, the Jiva, that's the real deal. I played it
legit.
today. Yeah, it's good.
It's really nice. It doesn't feel like an exclusive shredder, right? It feels like a classy guitar.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm in love with the Friedmans.
Sure, yeah,
but honestly, like
Ooh,
if I was in the
yes.
market for a shredder guitar right now, I wouldn't mind having the Jiva.
Yeah. Did you see the price on it?
No, I did not. What is
I
it?
think they're like 14 or 12, something like that.
Yeah.
Like it's accessible for that level of a build. Like I'm still
Mm-hmm.
impressed. I feel like I've been on the Nita topic ever since Toman. I keep running into her.
Well, and that was really weird. You were on the same plane
I
as
was on
her.
the same airplane as her coming in.
It was like ridiculous.
I was like,
Are you stalking her, Ryan?
I feel like she's stalking me at this point.
Yeah. Well,
No
see,
big
the head's
deal.
still growing.
No big deal.
Well, and to your earlier point, I mean, like here's a hot take. I think Ibanez is really on the rise here. I think they're really coming back into. I mean, I don't want to say relevance because they've always been relevant, but
For their prices, they build an incredible guitar.
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Just like across their line, like
They always have.
Yeah, it's like if you're looking for a guitar that is just going to play really fast and really true, like all their entry level stuff is super super good.
It's great,
Yeah.
and not just the. I mean, like people think there's a perception that Ibanez is just shreddy stuff and wizard necks and stuff, but
You can play whatever you want on
you
it.
play it in Artcore. It's great, and of course,
Yeah,
they've
all the
got-
Artcore-
I have
great
it.
too.
My daughter has an art core. I've played it a couple times. I will keep it in open tuning and play slide on it. And then, but it's definitely a playable guitar. We had it in standard when we first got it. And then my friend has two of the the Telecaster like guitars.
Yeah, the Talmans.
Talmans.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a pair of
so
them.
great.
And they're I mean, for like $400 you can get a Tallman, and it's every bit as good as a Mexican Fender.
Yeah, I've always wanted one of the original Tallmans with the long lower horn and like the gold hardware and stuff, and the lipstick in the middle position. Yeah, and that super heavy moto pick guard.
Ryan's getting really creepy talking about this right now.
Well, I
No, those are hot.
Does it have to be in sparkle gold?
that's the one.
I was about to say,
it's the
you gotta
one
get
that
it in
got away. No,
sparkle.
I'm fine with it white as long as it's got that gold hardware and the lipstick and the lower long horn. I missed
We're
out
talking
on
about
one.
guitars that got away, and this
Yeah.
would be an endless discussion.
There was one on Craigslist for like months, years and years and years ago, and I just sat there and debated it. And it was before I was doing the podcast, and it's like, I really can't store another guitar right now. And this and that. I didn't know that in the future I'd have like 20 guitars in my house.
Yeah, and here's you talk. I mean, to tie in the practical guitarist over here.
Here we go.
I mean, as I switch my microphone off, you want to get like the best guitar that I've come across, and I would say at least in the like under $500 price point. And I wouldn't have thought this until I started playing these, and this was like something that I encountered a long time ago. The AC240 OPN from Ibanez, like the Art Core, their little OM Art Core for $300 is easily the best guitar you're going to find in that price point, bar none. If somebody gave me like $800 and said buy a new electric acoustic, or $1,000, something like that, buy a new electric acoustic with that, I would go get that AC240. I'd throw an LR Baggs lyric in it, and then I'd take the other, $500 or $400 or whatever, and I'd go take Emily out to a nice dinner. Like that would be it. I mean,
You're really trying to score some points here. You know that $300, $500 going on an amp or something.
and you know Emily's not listening, so
And you have to buy a strap, you have to buy a cable, you have to buy a case for it.
you know what? Thank you. You're doing my job for me here. Thank you, Ryan. But all that.
You might spend $100 on dinner.
Listen, but I tell that to customers too.
That's still a good dinner, and she should be thankful.
yes.
But for real though, and the astounding thing about that, and not to like, this isn't a knock on anyone else, but you take like every single one of those that you take out of the box sounds great, and
Well, I gotta say, I was impressed with because Robert was telling me all about like every guitar that's over $300 or like $250 or something gets a personal inspection before it's shipped out. Like they check the fret ends, they check like.
Not a single guitar I picked up the entire time I was there, and I picked up a lot of them were set up poorly. They were all great.
Yeah, and like I ordered that Squire Contemporary from them, which was $350, so it's just over the edge. Showed up immaculate. Showed up playing perfectly. Like I don't doubt at all that they opened the box and gave it a little bit of a setup and like checked, or at least checked out a few different ones and sent me the best one or something like that. Like it's incredible that they spend that time like making sure that their customers get something satisfactory.
Yeah.
Sweetwater rejects like a third of the guitars they bring in.
It's less than that, but I mean,
I'll go to the center that has guitars, and like there are things on the wall that should not be put out in the condition that they're in.
Well, okay, and here's the deal too.
And that's on the wall. That's the store. That's the sales floor where you're trying to get people to be like, oh, I want this, and they're putting out stuff that like it feels like there's something wrong.
Okay, yeah,
and they're doing this for things that no one on the store floor is gonna feel or touch, and it's just going to be the person who ordered it. And there's no way that they could be like, oh, see, this isn't right. There's no one there to check it for them. Like,
and what's crazy is, I mean, I worked there for years, and do you think that there wasn't like an integrity violation that happened?
Right.
Like, there wasn't something inside of me that said, like, we should really care for these instruments more.
Yeah.
Like, we should, and here's the deal, and I don't mean this to knock on any competitor of ours, really. I mean, I mean this truly. I don't mean this to knock on any
you guys
competitor
don't
of
need
ours,
to knock on anyone to be competitive. Like, honestly. But, okay, go ahead.
I've never been in a place that really, I mean, this extends to a lot of other things, but cares for the inventory, cares like from a musician's perspective for what matters, and the 55-point evaluation, that's $299 flat and up, so $299.99 you're getting a 55-point evaluation, and you're going to be able to see your guitar, get what you see, guitar gallery, all that, but a climate-controlled warehouse for all of those guitars, they're being stored in the environment that they're supposed to be kept in.
Like the different stages, when they arrived there, they put it into climate control to acclimate it to what it's going to be in before the
evaluation,
and then they reacclimate it before it goes out or something like that. Like there's multiple steps of acclimation or something.
Yeah,
I was just like zoning out a little bit, like standing at the window, like, oh my god,
looking over this incredibly sophisticated like distribution center.
Yeah.
Just standing, so where the checkouts were, like they have the service center for their guitars, and that's cool in itself. Like you guys have service on site, but they have a freaking plec machine.
Yeah.
Who has a plec machine? Not very many people. I mean, and you can come in and use it. Like you can pay to have your guitar plecked.
I had my guitar plecked.
Yeah,
actually on its birthday,
and it's really, really good now, isn't it?
Oh, it's great, and that was great because I mean, this is a guitar that I've played the crap out of and really, really loved, and it was just sitting on the back burner. I hadn't played it in ages because it played really poorly, and so of course the Big G Gibson, they've got their serial numbers like they had, and at least had, I don't know if it's as easy to decode now, but you can find the date of birth of your guitar.
Sure.
And so May 23rd, 2012 is when my Les Paul was born, and so on May 23rd, 2018.
The frets got plecked.
For those of you keeping notes at home, May 23rd is also International Turtle Day.
What is that?
I don't know. My girlfriend loves turtles.
Oh, okay.
Is that chocolate turtles?
No, turtles.
So
although I guess it's now, as of today, become a tradition that now David must consume chocolate turtles every May 23rd in celebration of National Turtle Day. But on its birthday, I took it to a quote unquote spa day, and I don't know if you guys saw. I posted it in some of the gear groups that we're all members of, but a couple of years ago I posted a photo
you posted it in
of my guitar with a birthday hat on.
Groups that were all
exactly.
The same 50 dudes are in.
In about 3 of those groups.
There's more groups than there are dudes.
But I posted a photo that got a lot of reactions, some mostly good and some bad, of my guitar collection in birthday hats with straps for streamers, and it was my Les Paul having a birthday party. That sounds like a
really good Instagram channel.
Yeah.
I posted it on my Instagram. But
my sister was doing this photography series for a little bit where it was wet cats in birthday hats. And she was photographing her cat, like friends' cats getting baths, but then she would put a birthday hat on them.
That sounds like fun.
That sounds like torture.
It was pretty good.
Spa day for that cat. Just like on May 23rd, 2018, my guitar got a spa day in the Plec machine at Sweetwater.
I do like that concept. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought it was like, I don't know. It was one of those things where
if I did that, I'd be bankrupt.
Yeah, it was worth it though. Honestly, it really was, and I'm not just saying that. But again, I don't mean for this to turn into a Sweetwater advertisement. I want to hear about GearFest through your eyes.
Here's something else that maybe is standard practice with bigger companies and stuff like that work like in similar like business structures. But I was shocked to find out that they have offices on site at Sweetwater that are populated by people who aren't on the payroll at Sweetwater. They're reps for the companies that sell through Sweetwater. Like so there's like a Fender person who works there, like daily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Crazy.
Yeah, if I have questions about Fender, I can walk down and talk to my dude Brandon.
You go to the real Fender guy.
Uh-huh.
You don't get on the phone. You don't like have to get them on the horn from Corona or Arizona or whatever. There's a guy there, and you have that for a bunch of different brands who want to be there, who have offices there because you guys are such a center for everything selling. You know.
Well, and then Sweetwater's free technical support.
Yeah, I saw that too.
That's pretty crazy, especially if you use a lot of plugins and do a lot of recording stuff and you have questions.
I was like,
you can ask Sweetwater.
When Robert showed me that, I was like, so like people could try to contact the actual company who made the thing they're having trouble with, or they could call you for free. And he was like, yeah.
And there'll be somebody there to answer.
Yeah.
And you won't have to wait 2 weeks for an email.
It's incredible.
Yeah, I mean it really is next level, and that's not.
And you get candy and free shipping.
Yeah, well, and I think people think too that that's like a third party thing. Like we're going to transfer them to some third party technical support. It's right up the hall. Like when I tell customers like I'm transferring you to tech support, they're going down the hall.
This is something that I remember that really impressed me. I didn't get to go and see it because there was a session going on in there. He was showing me the pictures of the theater. And the theater looks very impressive, but the thing that's impressive to me is he was telling me how, like, as an example, like Josh Scott will come in with a new product.
Right.
Everyone goes into the theater, and there's individual headphone plugs for each seat, and you can sit there and listen to him give a presentation on the new product and tell you all the ins and outs, and so you'll be fully, like, aware of the product and know how to like present it to customers and who to recommend it to and things like that. And know what it does. Like, and you do that with all sorts of different vendors. You bring all sorts of stuff in. Like
3 times a week from what I understand.
Yeah, it's incredible. Like the amount of education that you guys get over there on the actual products is incredible. Like I think that I'd be surprised if that happens like anywhere else, like in this industry. Like. It's incredible.
I can tell you that the big places don't.
Like the amount of connection to the actual product and the amount of knowledge about what the products do that you guys are being exposed to, I'm just so impressed. Like,
I couldn't retain any of it.
I've never worked anywhere like that.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like I can tell you that the other people who, I mean, I guess I shouldn't say are trying to do what Sweetwater does, but like the other
well, how would you
competitors
even
out there
catch up? You know.
Well, and that's the thing because like. We're all hungry to learn about this stuff too, and so it just kind of fits right in. I mean, I don't think any of us.
I mean, you guys like learning about it because you
we love it.
You love music stuff.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you want to go like step away from the desk for a while and go like, watch Brian Wampler show you the new pedal or whatever.
Well, and it's super fun too because sometimes like. Josh will come by, and then midway through, he'll start telling a story about Andy Timmons, and Andy Timmons will walk out. I mean, like that's, you know, and so and like Josh genuinely, and I can say this. I mean, you know, on Josh's behalf, he genuinely enjoys coming to Sweetwater.
Yeah. Well, I see him posting all the time about going there, and
like it's
like I'm a Sweetwater.
Yeah, he's not doing that just like as a business trip. Like he enjoys being on.
Well, it's an enjoyable
it's so
place.
Cool.
You guys have. Like you literally, people kept telling me over and over again, you could bring the whole family here.
Oh yeah,
I do.
Yeah,
yeah. Like
and some of us sitting at this table did.
They have
multiple.
like when it's not GearFest and it's just like regular Sweetwater hours. Like they have a whole arcade set up and stuff like that. There's a cafeteria on
Star
site.
Wars pinball
You
now.
can play Star Wars pinball. You can play the golf game.
Where
There's
is
racing
the
games.
dormitory? Where do you guys sleep at?
I know, right?
I promise, we all have homes, and that's the thing too. We all have homes, but that's what it all comes down to too. Because there's you know, friends and customers who see all that, they'll take the online tour or they'll come visit, and they'll be like, oh, you know, they're just doing that because they don't want you to have to leave work, and it's exactly the opposite of that. Like it's exactly.
But you guys don't want to leave work anyway because you love the gear.
No, what it is like it's so like all that stuff, like getting a haircut, like having a doctor on site, like, you know, getting whatever
time away from your family.
It saves you your lunch break.
Yeah.
It saves you the time away from your family. It
absolutely.
Saves you your Saturday.
Yeah. They like and when I say
It's
they,
an
I mean like even
investment.
Chuck from the top down. Chuck wants us to go home and play our instruments and see our family.
Yeah.
And that's something that's so cool. It's so refreshing coming from a job that I had previously where that wasn't a priority. It was like nice if you could find the time.
The employees weren't exactly the center of
Stop.
the attention.
but yeah, I mean like it's so refreshing to be a part of something like that. So I mean, it's definitely cool that you guys.
Alan's cracking up over here. He's getting it in waves.
That was really a stretch, but I appreciate it. but no, I mean, it really makes a mark not just on me as an employee there, but it really I think that makes a difference too. Like when you see. I mean, a company doing.
We're all going to go back in the morning and get applications. Is what's going to happen.
Hey,
We're all moving
I
forward.
can
never
neither
tell you
confirm
not
nor deny this.
Look, I mean, it's. I don't even know.
Is there anything else we want to talk about? Like, we're
I really do want to hear about the rest of.
the flea market.
I mean, whether it's the flea market or.
I think I ran through all of my photos from the flea market. I mean, there was good stuff in there.
I caught some good stuff. There was a black Telecaster with EMGs in it that that had a Babbitt's bridge, and like it was only like $600. And yes, okay, so EMGs are not typically something you'd find in a Tele, which is originally why I took pictures of it. But you know what? It's a sharp looking guitar.
It is. It was really nice looking.
I kind of wanted it, and I was sitting there as I was thinking about it, but
I really
alas, I had other things in my mind.
I'm still just so thankful that I wasn't driving distance from home. I would have been buying all sorts of stuff.
Well, the whole reason I looked at that Telecaster is because I saw Greg Koch that morning. And he just like blew me away. So I'm like, damn it! I'm like, now I got to sell everything and start over, and I got to do it before July. You know, in July.
Did you guys see anything that like you weren't expecting to see, or like that surprised you?
Literally stole the question.
I read your mind.
Like,
I was happy
word for word.
I was happy that JHS had a Titan because I finally got to play
Yeah.
one. Played it
You
yesterday.
went back to
got
try
back
that
today
Titan,
to try it. I had to apologize to the guy at JHS because I was really there to play the Titan.
Zach's super cool. Zach's a
Zach's
fun
the
guy to
man.
hang out
Yeah.
with. Yeah.
But I loved it.
I was hanging
felt
out.
so good.
I was hanging out over there, and Colt from Walrus Audio showed up, and he had these little energy shots, and he like peer pressured me and Zach from JHS into like drinking the energy shots. It was so awful.
How cool are those guys, though?
Oh, they're so great.
Oh man,
Colt is just.
I love
best.
Okies. I have a special place. I have a lot of really close friends that are Okies, and they all know each other.
Oh,
every
yeah.
person
Well, there's
that I
only
know
like
from
20
Oklahoma
people who live
knows
there.
somebody else. Well, it's so scary. Well, and it's weird too.
It's scary.
Like, I remember watching a video. I think it was like either a Walrus video or some other company that was sort of a sister company to Walrus that maybe Sweetwater doesn't carry yet. But I remember watching that and going like, "Isn't that the guy who emails me from Mammoth? Like that was the videographer on this?
Right,
like,
right.
You know?" And then I don't know. Those communities are so tight knit.
Well, I was telling Colt because there was a Butch Walker was walking through the JHS area, and I didn't recognize him, but people were like talking about him in hushed tones. I was like, "Is that somebody? Who's that?" And I was like, "Oh, that's Butch Walker." I was like, "Oh, I've got his pedal. I've got the ruby red." And then I was talking to Colt. I was like, "You know what? Honestly, like, you guys are the people that I nerd out about. Like, I've never really been someone who like nerds out about artists." Or like like famous musicians or whatever. I never recognize them when they're right in front of me, but like I still like I'll never forget the first times I met Robert Keeley or met Josh Scott or met Colt or like I get excited about seeing them every time, and it's like at this point it's like they're kind of like buddies to me, but it's still like these are the guys who make the stuff that I love.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It's like they're the chefs, They're like the celebrity chefs.
That's a good analogy.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah. Whew. I got chills.
Want to hear something crazy about the Walrus guys now? So Jason Stultz, right? I mean, the man. So I first heard about Jason Stultz when he was doing Stultz amps. I don't know if you guys remember this.
I don't.
Oh man. Well, he had these red amps that he was doing with Kendall Combs from Charlie Hall
Okay.
They were making these low wattage amps, and this was like right at the cusp of the like low wattage craze. Like when everybody suddenly stopped using massive amps and going down, like it was like, you know, this amp that was under 10 watts, and you could really get cooking without having to like blow the walls down. And they were covered in like truck bed liner, this red truck bed liner. So it wasn't Tolex; it was actually like this like, super rugged sprayed on bed liner. And they had this big like S kind of carved into the front of the cabs, and they were super recognizable. And Charlie's band was using them, like, you know, because this mystery guy, Jason Stulz, who had his name on the amp, was making these amps. And I figured, oh, this guy's like some sort of guy sitting. He, you know, works in an engineering job. He's middle aged, and you know, and he designed this amp, and Kendall's, you know, kind of on the business side of this. No, Jason was 15 years old.
Oh my gosh!
When he was designing amplifiers that like were used nationwide, and these were like very, very popular churches too, because of the low volume. He's 15 years old. I met him and I was like, "How are you this young?" And then one of the other Walrus guys was like, "Can you believe he was 15 when he was making? He was 15!" Like I blew my mind. So yeah, and now he's
insane.
Really, really cool pedals for a really cool company. So
and I just want, like, I say this all the time on the show, and like people were talking to me about it, like walking around like Sweetwater. It's just so many people in the industry are just so nice, and they're just such good dudes.
Oh,
it's the most positive industry I've ever been part of. And it's like the people who aren't nice is because they're eccentrics, and you almost love them. And they're so weird and so out there that you still want to be around them. You know, there's very few a-holes in this industry, which is incredible. You'd think that it would be full of like crazies and like people who are bad at business. And
it is full of crazies,
but they're lovable.
But they're really, really awesome crazies.
Like I haven't. There's very few bad experiences, and like to call them bad experiences is kind of negligible too. It's like, I just can't believe how much fun it is to hang out with everyone and get to see everyone at these events, and it feels like they're all my buddies now. Hang out with them, you know, it's incredible.
That's what's so cool about an event like that. And just as a musician, it was like, oh, the whole crowd's here, like everyone's here.
Yeah, I met Joe Morgan at TGU, and then I saw him at Sweetwater.
He's just chilling out.
And I was like, hey, we know each other. We're like friends. This is like, when did I become friends with Joe Morgan? What happened in my life?
But there's this common bond, and that's music in general, but especially gear. But
totally.
But you know, just music in general is this kind of common denominator where, like, if you share that with somebody, there's like a camaraderie there. I know that sounds cheesy, but like you go to a place like GearFest where there's, you know, tens of thousands of people that all share this one, like, you know, common thing that's this thread that's like their passion.
Yeah, they all have this one thing in common: is they're super bad with money.
Exactly. Yeah, they drove or flew extremely long distances to make poor financial decisions.
Yeah, their priorities are all messed up compared to the rest of society.
And such is the plight of a musician, and that's what makes it such a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I noticed you guys put the credit card applications right up there.
I noticed that too.
You walk out the door into like where all the tents are, and the first tent you see is financing available.
Do you remember when I was in the shirt tent today and I'm talking about the MV88, and I'm like, man, I really don't want to spend any more money, and the guy looks at me and he's like, well, you could get a Sweetwater card, and I'm like, listen.
I mean, look, but here's the deal. I mean, we're all musicians too. Like, we know how it goes. Sometimes you need to make it an upfront investment, and don't have all the scratch to pay for it. Right
it's also like, I mean, the reality. And
that's happened to me a lot.
The heart and soul of this show is that the resale market exists and is decent.
Oh yeah,
it's not like it's not like a car where you drive it off the lot and you lose 20% like in the first day.
It's a rental fee.
If you're smart with what you buy,
it's like, honestly, like I look at like Pedal Genie services and I'm like, I could spend $20
You're just gonna lose $40 if you buy it new.
Yeah, or I could keep it like a year and lose 40 instead of losing 20 over a month. You know?
Yeah,
because like it's easy to resell stuff.
It is.
Everyone's always looking for something to try. It's a trier's market. Like everyone wants to try something until they find the thing that's perfect for the rig for 6 months until it's not perfect anymore.
so maybe to close it. We're getting towards the end of the episode. Right?
Oh yeah, we're pretty long right now.
Let's close it out with like one story you want to tell about your experience.
Sure.
Just go
And then
around
I
the
gotta
table.
thank the sponsors again, and I gotta mention the song that's gonna play at the end.
You get.
I get to.
Yeah.
I really do. Chase Bliss is our new sponsor. How incredible is that?
I love their pedals.
Joel wrote me. He's like, I want to be an indefinite sponsor. So that's what's coming, guys. It's going to be every other week. Chase Bliss sponsoring the show.
I want to meet Joel at GearFest.
Joel-
That's my goal for GearFest 2019.
Joel Corte is. I already said that there's a lot of really nice people.
Yeah,
Joel Corte is the top dog of sweethearts in the gear industry.
He seems
top.
so cool. I have friends who
dog.
have met him.
You want him to date your sister. You want him to marry your sister, and then you want him to have a secret relationship with you behind the scenes. Yeah.
I'm not sure about that.
Like
Okay.
I'll
take your word for it.
I was explaining my love for Joel to my wife, and she's like, "Is there going to be a problem? Like if he shows up, and like if he showed up on a horse, I'd be getting on the back. That's all I got to say."
Joel,
No questions asked. Joel shows up and is like, "No time to explain. Come with me." I'd be like, "Okay."
if Joel shows up at GearFest 2019, I may give her Lauren Miller's number or give him Lauren Miller's number. I'm kidding. Anyway, so
That's your sister.
GearFest 2018.
That's your sister, I'm assuming.
I
You don't know. I don't know. It could be your mom. It could be your grandma. I don't know.
Doesn't matter at this
you
point.
decide.
It's a family member.
I can neither confirm nor deny. But anyway, back to what David was saying.
He's already married.
You guys want me to start? I'll start.
Yeah, do it.
Okay, so this morning I was doing a live stream for my podcast group, and I'm standing up on the balcony, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, look at all the people that are here and all this, and I'm like, it's been really cool so far, and kind of like recapping some of the things I've done. And I turn around and I look, and I see Ryan. And I'm like, that guy right down there, that's Ryan Burke. And I stick my hand in front of the camera, and then he moves just slightly. And I'm like, and that's Nita Strauss. And I'm going to be going right now. And I just hung up the live stream and went downstairs.
Then you're down the slide. Woo!
Yeah, pretty much.
All I know is
That was a line for the slide, so I ran down the stairs.
I'm talking to Nita about something random. I was trying to like see if she like knew the name of her Sweetwater reps, because I was going to try to do a video or like get people to say the name of their Sweetwater rep. And I'm talking to her, and all of a sudden like David like cartoon screeches into my peripheral.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude, I was creeping on you all
during
weekend.
like, oh, he's here now.
That's what it's like, though. Like, half the time I just showed up out of nowhere. You're like, where's he been?
I'm almost glad you ran out of business cards.
Yeah. Well, she got one, but she might have gotten two. I'm not sure at this point. No, we do a woman in music segment, and I desperately want her on my show.
She'd be a solid interview for sure. She's
so
great.
she told me to
so
reach
cool.
out to her, and so hopefully she'll do it, and it'll be great.
What about you, Alan? What's like your highlight?
Alan, you've been so quiet this,
know, right?
this whole episode, man.
And soaking it all in, I guess.
Moment of silence.
I don't know what my highlight. Last year
It was meeting me, right?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Last year I only got to
What did I
go
call you when
to
I
a
opened
few
the door?
hours. I got to go to like less than half a day last year because I just happened to be in the area. And
What
so
do you think you got today? Like I got this time, like 3/4 of a day.
today I did almost a full day yesterday.
Yeah.
But so it was nice to get to see like more of it than I did last year. I think probably the highlight for me was honestly getting to play the Titan.
Oh, come
Now
on.
you want
it
one,
was
right?
that good, Doug.
What have I got to
Oh,
do to get you into a
man.
Titan?
It's
Are you
it's
talking
done.
to the same
I
person
played
from
one.
earlier?
Oh, God.
I'm trying to. My goal this trip is to try to prove to the builders that I can move product for them, and I'm doing it with you two. I'm doing it with Alan and
He
David.
moved a Katana and an MV88 today, so
Yeah, I almost got Alan into a compressor plus. You're a hard nut to crack. I'm going to get you
Next year.
next year.
No, he's not waiting.
But Doug, if you're listening,
Hey, Doug.
yeah, Doug, if you're listening, hey, Doug.
No, I say it all the time on the YouTube channel and on the podcast. Like the Titan is still the best playing guitar I own.
Oh yeah,
Like, flat out.
It felt so good.
Flat out. It's just fantastic. Did you already say your highlight?
No,
Okay.
I'm still thinking. You should share yours.
I'm thinking too. I mean, I say this for every event I go to. The gear is great. I mean, that's obviously the thing that brings us all together. But like, I always walk away from these things just so excited about like hanging out with all the people. And I'm kind of an introvert in reality. And so that's a big thing for me to actually enjoy, like hanging out with the people and having a great time and meeting people and talking to people. Like, it means a lot to me. Like, it's pretty incredible, like just the social aspect of it. And I think that part of it's totally worth it to like touch base with people and party with people and eat with people and like talk about real life stuff and whatnot. It's pretty incredible. And just like the people that you get to meet that you never thought you'd ever meet, like they're so accessible. They want to talk to whoever. It's pretty incredible. I mean, I had the same great time I had at everything at this. Like it's totally on. I couldn't tell you to go to Summer NAMM or this one or the other. Go to both. You know, like if you're looking for a guitar event, like it's totally like worthwhile. You know.
I just loved being awkward to everybody. I touched Brian Wampler's shoulder, and he gave me this look like it was over.
He immediately pulled out the big tub of hand sanitizer. He has and just,
which, by the way, happy birthday, Brian.
Happy birthday, Brian.
Whether it is or not.
Keeley was spreading the rumor that it's his birthday. It might be true, but
It might be true, it might not.
We'll talk about that on my show.
Either a very happy or a very belated or a very on-time birthday to Brian.
Let's talk about this. Keeley or Brian didn't need to be there. All these guys didn't really need to be.
Not.
They all have employees.
Yeah.
Like these are small booths compared
Paul
to
Reed
to
Smith,
NAMM.
for goodness
PRS,
sakes.
he didn't need to be there. All these guys are there. They must want to be there. I mean, Keeley was running his own booth, playing guitar through his own pedals to demo them. Like, it's incredible.
Dude, and this is something that you guys don't get to see, but like,
because they could have totally sent one of their employees with a board and be like, show off this stuff for 2 days.
But when it's like before it starts, and then when it's over, these guys bust their butts to set up these booths and to tear them down.
I saw the tear down going on when I left, and it was nuts.
Like they're not just there to like schmooze.
They're working.
They like put in. I mean, I was floored.
I'm impressed.
Actually, it's really funny because like you'll sit there and you'll look at something, and if you don't recognize these people, you'll look at their name badge and you'll be like, "Oh my God, that's Paul Rivera of Rivera Amplification."
You were nerding out on him hard.
Well, no, so
like every time you walk by, you're like, "There's Paul."
But that's the thing, like,
there's Paul.
So,
Paul,
well, because all right, so with our generation of musicians, like he's not necessarily as well known as the prior generations, and that's what I was pointing out. But like in his case, I knew what he looked like. I saw him, but then again, today it was at the Friedman booth. And I didn't realize that Dave Friedman was sitting there, right there, watching me play, and part of this crowd of people that had like gathered to see me doing stuff. And I'm like, "What is going on here?" Like when I walked away and I realized that was him, I was like, "What just happened?"
Yeah. Did you have a point? I don't remember if you made it already.
No,
we're all waiting to hear it.
Well,
lay it on us, man.
I wish I had some sort of elaborate story. I mean,
you were working the whole event, so that's
but I mean,
experience.
I think like from that perspective, I think there was a real appreciation that I had for the gravity of it. That was like what was so impressive to me is I guess I didn't know what to expect, but I did not expect it to be this I don't know, such like an enigmatic and really
like
beautiful event. It's
like
not
community.
Communal. Oh gosh,
it's a communal thing.
Like there was
like close to like a religious gathering. Like it's bizarre.
It was this like mingling where I like like I say, I was walking through this place that I am every day, and
you'd think everyone was there to see the Grateful Dead or something like that.
Oh, but on a cooler level, it wasn't quite as like unified around a certain set of people. It was just everyone gathering together.
Yeah,
like music was the centerpiece. Yeah. Oh, totally. And so that was cool. Whether it was like, whether it was artists or people who were attending or employees, there was just this mutuality, and there was really, I mean, like the fact. This is again going to sound so cheesy, but like the fact that you traveled from a few hours away, you traveled from a few more hours away, and as pointing to David, saying he traveled a
Yeah.
few hours
It's a podcast
away,
friend.
and Alan, who I mean, this is his stomping grounds than it is mine, and traveled.
Alan's on like a multi-week family like tour.
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
Chapel
country.
Family Tour 2018.
But like like kind of planned it in such a way that you could attend and are certainly going to have a long drive ahead of you when you head back, and you flying across the country for this. That was
Thanks,
like
Inner
when,
Circle.
but,
You're welcome.
But when you said that, like when I saw that online, when I saw that you were, and this was months ago, but when you said like you were flying in for GearFest, there was like a switch that flipped in my head. Like this is a bigger deal than I think
didn't know
it
how
is.
big of a deal it was. I just heard people talking about it, and like when I was at Summer NAMM last year, what it was is like I was talking to a certain builder. I was like, "Oh, are you going to be at Summer NAMM?" He's like, "No, I'm going to GearFest." I was like, "What is?"
Well,
that?
you know, GearFest has a nickname, right?
What is it?
Who's your name?
Who's your name?
Who's your name? Yeah.
I was like, I didn't know what it was until they told me that they were going to it instead. I was like, is that like worth it to you to go to that instead of Summer NAMM? He was like, oh yeah, I think it's way better. And that's when the moment it got on my radar. I forget who it was. I wish I could remember so I could name drop him. I feel special. But but anyways, that's when it got on my radar. And when I was at like Summer NAMM last year, I was thinking like, I should probably go check out this GearFest thing next year. So that's where the seed was planted.
That's cool. I mean, and just like this is gonna sound so cheesy and broy and chummy, but really the fact that I like got to hang out with all of you guys. Who
But that's
we
a
all-
huge part of all these sorts of things, like
Absolutely.
hanging out with people, like getting to have dinners and like get
yeah.
to know each other like face to face. Like I posted the picture of all of us at the ice cream place, and I don't remember what I said exactly, but it's like it's so great getting to meet friends from the internet, like internet friends. Because I've been talking to you guys for years,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
and now it's like I got a face for all you people, and it's like now it's like real, It's so
You could be more frightened of me than you ever were.
Not unless you shave the bottom of your beard off.
It's coming off. And I'm coming back to town to visit.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's cool because it's four very different like intersecting paths. I know you guys like. I think have you guys met before, David and Ryan?
No.
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 No, this is my first time
is
meeting
so
all of you
cool.
guys.
This is so cool.
The only other people I'd met at this thing so far are a handful of the builders. The rest of it is all new people.
So cool. And like finding out like Alan was in the same program in college, went to like college with one of my best friends. Like had no idea.
Yeah.
Absolutely no idea.
Well, you used to
And
sell me gear.
David
all the
has no
time.
recollection of me selling him gear, but I've sold him
He's going to
gear
sell me
before.
more gear because I'm switching my rep to him, too.
I'm not touching that.
Brian Kearns, if you're
And then
listening, I
Neither
apologize.
confirmed. Why can't- why
come
can't-
on. Yeah. Oh, man.
Why can't we have multiple reps? That's all I'm saying.
Hey, at least I knew what my
man.
Sweetwater rep was.
David could be a poly rep amorous,
Yeah.
You'll edit that out in post, right?
I don't edit anything.
As
This
I know.
podcast is in no way endorsed or supported by Sweetwater. Brandt is by here.
I'm here because I'm buddies with these guys,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's actually straight talk
Right.
too.
Yeah,
Like,
we
that's
didn't
legit.
even invite you because of the Sweetwater connection. We're like, hey, we're gonna record. Come on.
They're all lying. They invited me here because they thought I had candy.
Yeah, we were,
No, to be perfectly honest,
Wait, you don't?
we invited
What
you
have I
because
been
you
doing
bought
this whole time?
because you bought me dinner the other night. So now I owe you
yeah,
the rest of
when
my
you
life.
sat down at the table yesterday, when Ryan and I were sitting there watching Adrian Ballou, like you sat down and you were like, "I know you," and I'm like, "What?" Like it just did not dawn on me. I was like, "Well, yeah, from the Facebook group." You're like, "No, I used to sell you gear all the time," and I'm like, "What?" I had no idea I knew anybody that worked at Sweetwater.
All right, we should wrap this up. This
Yeah.
episode is 40% longer, 60% longer than normal. We're at an hour 40 minutes right now.
All right,
Oh my.
let's finish this.
All right, big thanks to the sponsors. Sinusoid, I love you boys. We're recording with your cables right now. David's got a cable. I got a cable. Unfortunately, Brandt and Alan are using some cheap, crappy cables.
I'm holding out until they make a Bigfoot power
that I
cable.
made super long
I need
ago.
a Bigfoot power cable.
But I'm using my cable here with TechFlex. Check out their power cables. They're super beefy and incredible looking. Also, huge thanks to Chase Bliss Audio. Check out every pedal that they make. If you're looking for a pedal that is insane and you're going to feel like you need to take like a college course to learn everything they can do over like the next 4 years of your life, every single Chase Bliss pedal is that way. Well, I'll say like once you figure out one, you've cracked the code. Like they all kind of like operate the same way, and once you figure that out, you can like get into all of them and know like just show up and be like, yeah, I can operate that. This is a Chase Bliss pedal. I know how this works. Like that's where the point that I'm at now. Like I got the Therme, and I'm like, yeah, I know what to do. I mean, it still took me like a week to learn everything it could do, but I knew how to make it do its thing. You know. By the way, the Therme, I've been using it at church. It's legit. I think it's gonna live on my board a long time because it's like. It's a legit like analog, standard analog delay with tap tempo, super long repeats if you want them, and then it can get so weird just with like a twist of a knob. Like the weirdness is just sitting there ready to go. So go check out Chase Bliss Audio. They're supporting us now, and that's incredible. I feel like a big boy with a big show. Like I just feel so special.
His head is still growing.
That a man like Joel just loves me enough to send me money.
I send him money, so
so you guys send him your money to make him feel as special as I feel about him sending me money.
Maybe he'll send you some pedals if you.
This
send
is the
him
weirdest sponsorship ever. All right, the song today, this morning, whenever you listen, was sent by Joe Hansen. It's called Discontinuation. Steve sent me like an abridged version of the notes, so that's all I know. I don't know anything about the song. Enjoy it.
He's just phoning it, isn't he?
Thanks for listening, guys. This is what you get when you get an episode that Ryan runs all by himself. You guys all realize how much I need Steve now to hold me together. I didn't even do the intro right. It's like the easiest thing. We've been doing it for 4 years. All right, bye, everyone. Enjoy the show.
Bye-bye.